Hey, my phone is in grayscale, so I may put the video in grayscale. Welcome me to the store as I talk. So, I told you guys that I'm not a one-sided individual. I like to look at both sides of everything. And I don't have, I have mostly a black following on here. Black people really don't, um, I'm not going to say we don't have knowledge on the Holocaust, but we're not really, it's not something that the average black person is interested in learning about. Really, our own history is what we put a lot of time into. But I remember in the 8th grade, that's probably the first time I've read the Diary of Anne Frank during the summer of 2008. I was 13. We read 3 books that summer. We read To Kill a Mockingbird, Diary of Anne Frank, and this book by Walter D. Myers called Mop and the Moondance Kid. Now, it was pretty cool that I read that book when this movie called Freedom Riders. It came out a year before we read that book. So my brother saw that movie in theaters. Sometimes, so when we were in 7th grade, the 7th and 8th grade, we went to the movies. We saw, so I saw The Great Debaters when I was in the 7th grade. Because I already saw the movie. This was funny. My mom was supposed to take us to see it, but she couldn't. We didn't have the money. So my dad and I saw it alone, and then I saw it again. So I saw it 2 times, and we had to write we were quizzed on the movie. So, let me just say this. I got all my information from a textbook. It's not something that I just heard online. I don't like to just take someone's word for shit. I like to do my own research. But what do you think about this? Do you think that Hitler was just out to kill a bunch of Jews? Now, yes, he had an agenda to start. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna untangle my shoes when I get home. I just got these I got these like 3 weeks ago almost, and they're still good. They're like $30-something. I don't see the point in spending like hundreds of dollars on shoes. But do you feel like Hitler was just a crazy maniac that wanted to just exterminate Jewish people? Because I don't feel like that was really the case. And I don't have, so what I hate about censorship is you can't really, I don't want to take another person's word for what they say online or what I hear on a TV show. In some countries, it's illegal to even say the Holocaust never happened. That's a crime in some countries. But this is what I feel. I want to make this very short and sweet. I don't believe he intended on killing anybody. That's really, from what I've read, and I think y'all can agree, he wasn't trying to kill anybody. So, you guys know the backstory. Germany lost World War I. They had to pay reparations. And fucking shoes again. Damn. I hate these damn things. I'm really gonna untie these. So, they had to pay reparations. Country, was in a recession. And, he felt like the Jews were responsible for one, why the country was in a recession. He blamed them for the Great Depression. How, like I can understand if you are a German and you have other people in your country, running all the businesses, and most of your people are unemployed, out of work, on the street. I get that. You want your people to, run shit. Because most Nazis, and I didn't read this, I heard it from someone else, but some Nazis were bums on the street. And Hitler gave them, a uniform, a gun, a baton, and they felt like they were somebody. I mean, not every Nazi was a bum on the street, but some were. So Hitler, he wanted his people to, and I'm not, for one thing, I am not taking up for Hitler. I understand he would have probably killed me too. Well, he would have definitely killed me. I'm not a straight man. I got cognitive problems and I'm black. So he would have definitely threw my ass in the oven as well. But you got to understand that his intention was just to remove them from the country. That's all he intended on doing. But understand, not every country was taking Jewish people. Cuba wasn't. The United States had a limit. Their limit was like 23,000 or 37,000, one of those two. I read it in a book. It was like 37,000 people. So how are you going to take 6 million people in the United States when you only got a limit of like a little over 30,000? So what are you going to do next? I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know if, and listen when I say this, there's so many contradicting stories of, oh, no one never died. They just said this so they can have their own country. It's something to consider. But I wasn't there. But his intention was to remove them from the country. He wasn't trying to kill anybody. He wanted them out of the country. And all these people, if the United States ain't taking nobody, if other countries are not taking anybody, the next thing to do to remove them is a cyanide-laced shower. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but I don't want to, like his whole objective was never to harm anybody. I feel like, and some people even think this themselves, he just wanted a perfect world. He wanted, because nobody, listen, I have a disability. Nobody wants to be born disabled. I could live with it, but no one wants to be born with cerebral palsy. No one wants to be born with a disability that hinders you from living a normal life. Now, like I said, it's a little bit harder to get things done, but I managed to, live my life. Because understand, everybody had their own distinctive armband. He wanted Jews, Catholics, communists, Jehovah's Witnesses, blacks, gypsies, mentally disabled, homosexuals, anyone that I said Jehovah's Witness, anybody that disagreed with him were put in camps. But something to consider, and I'm getting this from one of the worst people. But Lord Jamar even said, how can it be 6 million? I mean, put this. How can it be 6 million when there was an estimated 500,000 in the country at the time? That's something to think about. So I don't think his intention at first was to harm anybody. I don't know. And here's the thing. I'm one of them people where I don't really know if that many people died. I'm a little skeptical if that many people died. Now, I'm sure there are people who were in concentration camps and they have the little tattoo on their hand indicating, the horror. They could tell you the horrors of being there. Sorry. I'm not denying that. But I like to listen to both sides. I don't know if that many people died because there's so many stories that contradict that number. And it doesn't help when you silence these people. You lock them up for even saying like, hey, I don't like. There's like denying the Holocaust is a crime in most countries. But there are theories that this was a this was a plot to get their own country. And there's also a theory that Hitler, he possibly was never dead. Like he faked his own death. That's a theory as well.